Located on the top of the world lies the Earth's most northern body of water, the Arctic Ocean. It's the smallest, shallowest, and most hostile ocean on the planet. This otherworldly landscape, with its endless polar nights and 24-hour days of sun in the summer, has captivated my imagination for years. This year, I decided to stop dreaming and embark on a month-long expedition to reach the Arctic Ocean. I'm joined by my good friend Shaun on this expedition, and together we face some major challenges, breathtaking moments, and this promises to be the adventure of a lifetime. Today I begin this part of this incredible journey starting from a hidden gem of a campsite along a river in northeast Washington, just a few miles from the Canadian border. This was a special, unexpected campsite find that I just stumbled upon doing a little searching around. Not a bad way to start off this leg of my expedition. I mean, is this not just an unbelievable spot? I can only hope that we find more breathtaking campsites as we head deep into Canada. The birds here, the water, this is crazy to me. It's a 3-day weekend, and it is actually, I got here last night on a Saturday and I thought, there's no way I'm gonna find a good camp spot. And this was just one of those spots that I found by searching around on Google Earth, and I'm like, there might be something there, and sure enough, there was. It was a little bit of a good crawl to get in here, and I'll show you on the way out. But I'm gonna finish my coffee, I'm gonna pack up, I'm gonna soak this in just a little bit more, and we're gonna go hit the road and meet up with my good friend, and then the adventure really begins. I'm not sure when I might be back to this part of Washington, but when I do make my way here again, this is a spot I will be revisiting. It's taken me 4 days to get to this point on my trip, and now that I'm getting ready to cross over the border into British Columbia and meet up with Shaun, I'm feeling a tremendous sense of excitement for what's to come. I've spent endless hours planning and preparing for this trip to the Arctic Ocean, but I anticipate there are going to be many unexpected things that will happen along the way that will challenge us and require a modification to my original plans. And being flexible on a month-long journey like this is essential. First, I need to get through the border crossing. Good morning, how you doing?
Pretty good. Where's home for you?
San Diego.
Where are you headed today?
I'm meeting a friend and we're going all the way up to the Arctic Circle. No, we're going to go to Tuktoyaktuk.
How long are you being there?
Well, we're hoping up and back is less than 2 weeks, but we'll kind of see how the conditions are. We're still waiting for the ferries to start running. As I was driving up here, I was curious about what kind of questions they were going to ask me and whether or not they were going to inspect my vehicle. While they did ask me a good amount of questions for about 5 minutes, they also told me that the way I was heading, there were some major forest fires in the area and I might actually encounter some road closures. Not the kind of news I was looking forward to hearing. But on the bright side, I didn't have to go through a Jeep or trailer inspection, and I was able to continue on through the border. All right, guys, we made it to Canada, and that was a bit of interesting information that the place we're meeting up with Shaun is on fire, so we'll see how that goes. All right, it's official. I'm in Canada, across the border, and this is my first time ever driving into Canada. When I was in the Navy, we did some port calls, I think, into Vancouver a long time ago, but I've never driven across the border. Now, I had to do a conversion because they're in kilometers, and so trying to figure out what my speed limit is, that was just something I had to do right away, and now I got to figure out what's going on with those fires, where we're supposed to meet Shaun. It wasn't until 2 days later that I realized it's a simple change to go from miles per hour to kilometers by just pressing the OK button on the steering wheel. Now you know. The first part of my drive into British Columbia was absolutely beautiful, and this is only a taste of what's to come. I did see some wild horses on the side of the road, absolutely beautiful, and I saw some signs for some bighorn sheep. And if you've been following my adventures for a while, you know that bighorn sheep have eluded me for years. Maybe I'll finally see some in Canada. I've got several hours of driving today, so I made a quick stop for fuel, but I had no idea at the time how much I was paying for fuel because it's in liters and not gallons. But I finally figured out that this works out to be around $4.83 per gallon, and that's actually pretty cheap because as we head further north, that price will almost double. All right, I've been on the road for about 2 hours since crossing the border and just driving through this gorgeous windy road through the mountains, going through some small little towns. And then I came across this little rest area right on this crystal clear lake. Gorgeous. So stopping here, stretching my legs, eating a little lunch, and then I'll continue on. I got about an hour and a half to get to a place called Spences Bridge where I'm going to meet up with Shaun. And then he knows a trail that we're going to go explore and camp out tonight before we continue making our way even further north. Now, I mentioned earlier when I crossed the border agent said that there were fires in that area. I looked up, I wasn't able to find anything, but we'll see how it goes. Guys, look, bighorn sheep. Oh my gosh, it finally happened. I had to come to Canada for it to happen, but there's some bighorn sheep. You gotta be kidding me. Finally, I had to come to Canada to see some bighorn sheep. You guys know that I've been on the hunt for bighorn sheep forever, and then here on the side of the road, here's 3 of them. Right on. We saw horses, saw bighorn sheep. I'm hoping we see a lot more wildlife on this trip. This is awesome. I finally saw them. Oh yeah, that was a very special moment for me, and I actually encountered a second herd of them just down the road a little bit farther, and a couple days later I would come across some baby bighorns. The amount of wildlife I will end up seeing on this trip far exceeded my expectations. I just arrived to the small town of Spences Bridge, and this was a town that rose up from the gold rush back in the 1800s, and this is where I'm meeting Shaun, and from here we're gonna head to a trail that he's been to before, camp up here somewhere tonight, and then tomorrow we'll really start laying down the miles to work our way north. Not much here in this little town, not even a gas station, but I'm gonna go find a place to just kind of wait it out. He said he's about 45 minutes out, so I'm a little early. Spences Bridge is a very small town with a population of only 76 people, but it's got some historical significance as this was a booming town in the 1800s during the gold rush. In 1863, a gentleman by the name of Thomas Spence brought a crew in and built the first bridge, making it easier to cross the Thompson River. However, shortly after the bridge was completed, it was washed away by a heavy spring snowmelt. A second bridge was later completed by Spence and his crew the following year. Today, there is a large, beautiful bridge that crosses the Thompson River, and there's a few trains that run along the mountains on the other side of town, but otherwise, there isn't a whole lot else inside this small town. It was just a great location for Shaun and I to meet up.
Welcome to British Columbia.
Man, it's great to see Shaun again. We always have a good time when we go out together. Now, he's going to lead. We're going to go hit a gas station, and he said something about a Tim Hortons, which I've never been to a Tim Hortons. And then we're going to head up to the trail. He said the trail conditions right now, a little mud, possibly a little snow, but totally passable. So it should be a little adventure to get to camp tonight. All right, just a quick stop before we hit the dirt for some fuel and for some Tim Hortons, which I've never had before. And man, they have a lot of really good looking stuff in there. Some donuts and some pastries, some flatbreads, all the stuff that's not on my diet. But coffee is on my diet. So let's see how good their coffee is. Oh yeah, that's a good blend of coffee right there. I like that. All right, that's a thumbs up. Okay, Shaun's grabbing a couple things, and then we're gonna go hit the dirt. Oh yeah, finally we are on the dirt, and we're gonna make our way up the Cornwall Fire Lookout Trail, which is an easy trail in dry conditions. But we're soon gonna find out this trail isn't very dry.
Oh yeah, we just hit some nasty, greasy, sticky mud. You know, I don't love mud, but at least we can get through it, and I have mud flaps, which means I should have clean door handles before this is all said and done, but I don't know, this is pretty nasty. I gotta say, guys, after going through that slimy, greasy stuff, these tires do pretty good. Pretty impressed with them. This trail is beautiful and fun, and it's not the hot and muddy mess we thought it was going to be. It's muddy, but it's sloppy, but it's fine. Just the views are spectacular. Now we're heading towards the top of this peak where there is a fire tower overlook.
We've climbed just over 5,000 feet in elevation so far, and the temperature has dropped significantly up here. And there are still several patches of soft snow on the trail on the shaded side of the mountain. It's hard for me to imagine that just 4 days ago I was wearing shorts and flip-flops. I hope I can acclimatize to this cold weather quickly. As we near the peak of the Cornwall Hill, which sits at 6,677 feet, the fire lookout comes into view.
We made it. What a beautiful, beautiful view. And boy, that was a steep climb coming up. Let's go take a look at this thing.
Oh, wow. This is super clean.
Shaun, buddy, this is amazing.
Nice little shelter from the wind outside.
Yeah, but dude, this is beautiful. Beautiful.
Yeah. Welcome to British Columbia.
Yeah. And now you were telling me at the start of the day, there are no more manned fire lookouts.
That's correct. There's, I think in Alberta they still have some.
Okay.
But in BC they switched totally to satellite for that.
Wow.
So these have been, I think, since the 90s, I want to say.
Yeah.
That these have been, so a lot of them have just been kind of getting run down. So the Four Wheel Drive Association of BC, a group that I'm a member of, we maintain these, adopt them where we can.
Yeah.
And then some of them are just out there falling apart. We found ones that are still look like they were just abandoned and left.
Wow. Well, this one's pretty cool, man. It's awesome that they maintain it.
Yep.
I've been lucky enough to visit many manned and unmanned fire lookouts over the years, and they always have spectacular views that stretch for miles in all directions. This fire lookout would have been manned 24 hours a day, 7 days a week during the fire season, and those on watch here would often live up here for days or weeks at a time until being relieved. It's great to see a place like this is still being so well preserved.
It's actually snowing right now. It's just some small little flakes, but it is snowing. It's a little chilly up here, but there's not bad wind, which is nice. So Shaun and I are going to camp up here with these incredible views. So we're going to cook up some chow, hang out, and kind of just catch up a little bit. It's been a while since we've hung out together, so it'll be a good evening. What a great way to start off the day in Canada. Today has been incredible. All right, slight change of plans. It's hard to get level up there. It's pretty off camber. And so what we decided was we're gonna go down a little bit, find a spot that's more level and maybe has a little bit of protection from the wind. It's pretty windy up there, but man, that fire tower, super, super cool. And honestly, we could camp anywhere out here tonight and it's gonna be amazing.
We drove down about a half mile from the fire lookout where we found the perfect level spot in the grass, which still offered some beautiful views. After getting camp set up, it was time for some dinner. I'm starving.
All right, we are just down the hill from the lookout tower and have a nice level spot. A little bit of protection from the wind, but it's still chilly. You can see I've got all the things on. I need to find my big gloves, but I'm gonna cook up dinner. I'm gonna make a little ribeye and just have a little avocado. And I mentioned a couple days ago that I'm using induction, and tonight is the perfect night for induction cooking because it's windy and I don't have to worry about a flame blowing out. So that's gonna be nice. And we're still getting some snow flurries. It's chilly, but I'm excited to be here, guys. This is awesome. Whew, it's chilly. I don't know what it is with the wind chill, but temperature right now says it's just about 37 degrees. And for you Canadians, that's like 4. See, I got Celsius on there. Look, I'm just having a simple dinner, a ribeye with some avocado. Shaun grabbed a sandwich at Tim Hortons. Tomorrow we're gonna hit a grocery store and we'll kind of figure out our meal plan along the way and we'll cook meals together. But tonight was just, let's get set up, let's have a good meal, and let's hunker down from this cold and wind. So I'm gonna eat and then I'll get set up.
Shaun and I have been friends for a few years now, and we've tackled many trails together, and we are both full of joy that we are finally beginning this journey up north that we have talked so much about over the last few months. I couldn't ask for a better first night camp in Canada, and wow, Mother Nature did not disappoint with the sunset she put on display.
It's good to see you, and I noticed that too. There's a lot of people that well, good morning. It's day 5 on this trip. We were camping at 6,500 feet last night and it was cold, and it's very cold this morning. I'm thankful to have some warm clothes. Now, the plan is we're actually going to pack up a little early. It's just a little after 7:30, so we're going to head out of here a little early. We've still got to make our way down the sloppy and greasy, muddy trail and then hit the road, and we're going to work our way north towards the town of Prince George. And from there, we're going to kind of explore a little bit and hopefully find another camp spot on our way up to the Arctic Circle and Tuktoyaktuk.
If you recall, on the climb up the mountain yesterday, I was complimenting my tires on how well they were performing in the mud. Well, climbing just this small hill and I could not get them to bite, and I couldn't make it up. Thankfully, there is a drier and rockier line to the right, and I was able to climb right up that, but Tires are the most important thing on your vehicle, and having the utmost confidence in them is crucial. But I will say, even the best mud tires can sometimes struggle in the slick stuff. About halfway down the mountain, Shaun mentioned on the radio he was hearing a clicking noise coming from under his truck. We investigated some possibilities, but we just couldn't sort out what it is, so we're gonna have to take a closer look when we get back down to the pavement. Shaun, I know you've been out to this trail many times over the years. How many trees do you think you've chopped down out here?
I couldn't say for sure on this trail, but at least a few. Probably between 5 and 10 on this trail.
Yeah.
But all trails together, you know, hundreds, thousands maybe.
Yeah. The luxury of living up here in the woods, huh?
Yeah, I love it.
Come off the fun, muddy section of trail, and now we're just on this winding dirt road through a bunch of ranches and private property. We're gonna hit the pavement here soon, and we're actually gonna drive up to that gas station where we gassed up yesterday to air up and investigate a little clicking sound that Shaun is hearing from his truck, just to kind of see what that is. Hopefully it's maybe just a rock or something, and then we can continue our journey north, hopefully.
After grabbing a bit of fuel and airing up, we needed to give a once-over to Shaun's truck. Clicking noises can be lots of things. A rock stuck somewhere, a broken axle, a blown ring and pinion. We have to find the noise before we continue.
Stop, stop. Again, now go forward. Stop.
All right, so here's the news. I crawled under, and it looks like the CV joint that's attached to your transfer case where the drive shaft is, the rubber seal that's on there is gone, and now because you're fully flexed because you lifted it, it's rubbing really hard, and so there's exposed grease. So I think we got to replace that front drive shaft somehow, and it probably needs to have like a extended drive shaft or a double cardan or something like that. But yeah, this is just going to cause more problems as we go. I mean, we can always pull the drive shaft if we need to, but that you're only going to have two-wheel drive.
Right. Okay.
All right, here's the current state of affairs. I got some more Tim Horton coffee, good stuff. And Shaun made a couple phone calls, and the plan now is we're going to continue on, and because to replace that drive shaft with a stock one is just going to result in the same situation. And getting an aftermarket drive shaft, one, would be very time consuming. Two, it's a little more involved because there's some drilling and tapping that has to take place. So we're going to continue on. The good news is he's on 40s and he has a rear locker, and we don't anticipate doing any crazy trails from here on out. We'll do some trails, but they shouldn't be anything super technical, so he'll probably be fine. So we're going to continue on, and Shaun is leading the way today. All right, just a quick stop for groceries to make sure we have enough for the next couple days. Lots of great people coming up and talking to us here. Everybody's so friendly. I grabbed a little lunch, some smoked salmon bites. Oh, this is so good. But now we got to lay down some miles. We don't know where exactly we're ending up tonight because we had that little delay trying to sort out the drive shaft. But we're going to try to get towards Prince George and maybe a little bit further, but just kind of play it by ear today.
And all that way Lord said, another, they respect strength.
We just passed through a pretty good rainstorm that I guarantee washed off all the mud off from underneath my Jeep. So it was a nice little cleaning. We've just been on the road for, I don't know, we've been about 3 hours now, just working our way north. Not a lot to see. We've been through quite a few towns, but they're kind of touristy towns, resort towns, and then just driving a lot through these forest roads. I don't think it's going to be until we get much further north where we're actually going to start seeing some really cool historical towns, which we'll stop and check out, and then some really interesting points of interest. Today is just about laying down some miles, and we don't know.
Probably next gas station we see, eh?
Yeah, next gas station would be great. Yeah, we don't know exactly where we're camping tonight, but we'll figure it out. And I need to get some fuel because while Shaun has a massive fuel tank in that truck, I have just my little 21 gallon. So I'm getting fuel more often than he is. Stopped for fuel just a few miles back, and I got a text from Regina, and she has confirmed her flight, the hotel reservation, and she grabbed a rental car, and we're gonna meet up in Banff. So on my way home from Tuktoyaktuk, I'm gonna stop through Calgary, head over to Banff, and hang out with her for a couple days. It's gonna be really good. Now that's 13 days from now, so it's still a while, but it's something else along this trip to look forward to, and that's been a place that we've been wanting to go to for a long time, so it'll be a nice little mini vacation. Really looking forward to it. So that was a little bright side of my day. Now, Shaun and I, during that stop, we discussed, and we're like, yep, we're feeling good. We're just gonna keep pressing on for a couple more hours. We are about a half hour west of the town of Prince George, and now there's just a bunch of Forest Service roads. We were looking on iOverlander and been surfing around on Onyx Off-Road, and so what we're going to do is just kind of investigate some of these areas and see what we find. Hopefully we can find something near a lake or a river or a stream, but this is just going to be just kind of a matter of cruising down some of these Forest Service roads, see what we find. We may have to backtrack, but it's all good. We still got plenty of daylight left. I think it's been like an hour and a half since I reported into you guys, and well, after searching many forest roads, we found this kind of primitive campsite. It's a campground, so there's other people here, but look at this. This is incredible, and we really just needed to kind of call it. We've been driving for a while, looking at spots and just getting skunked, and so we saw this was open. We're like, it's a weekday, we should be able to get a spot. And of course, we got two spots right next to each other. I'm hungry, it's time to eat. All right, for dinner tonight, a little asparagus, some wild salmon fillets, and an incredible view. This worked out, buddy. What do you think?
Fantastic.
Yeah.
It was starting to get dire looking for a camp spot there, and then you spotted this on the map, and it did not disappoint.
No, it worked out really well.
Thank you very much.
And help yourself with the asparagus.
Okay.
Dinner was pretty tasty, and while we are eating store-bought fish tonight, we are hoping that along the way on this trip we can catch a few fish of our own and fry them up. This lake looks pretty fishy, so maybe I'll give it a go in the morning. Across the lake, we spotted something moving along the lake's edge. A moose and her calf. Wow, that's not something you see often. You can see Mom is very alert while her little one is out and about, and honestly, how adorable is that little moose? Oh yeah, I hope we see a lot more of this kind of stuff along the trip. There's still more to come on our adventure. If you enjoyed this video, here are 2 other adventure videos I think you will enjoy. Thanks for watching.